Hey, what's up everybody? We are back again, and today I once again want to talk about a rapper that a lot of people have been asking me about, going by the name of Killstation. Now, if you haven't heard of him before, he was pretty prominent back around 2017 to around 2020 for being part of groups like Schema Posse as well as Members Only. He's one of the very few artists out there that was actually part of a group with both Lil Peep and XXXTentacion. The only other artist that I can think of that was in both Members Only and Schema Posse is Craig Zen. And it seems like Killstation was very close to the both of them, even appearing in the Peep documentary and doing a whole interview about what it was like living with them, as well as going to XXXTentacion's funeral. But despite those two connections, he's actually a fairly talented and well put together artist in his own right, and he's even gotten big time features with people like Mario Judah and supposedly even has a track with Lil Nas X. But unfortunately in recent years he's become a lot more well known for his genuinely unhinged behavior rather than being a rapper. He hasn't really been dropping a lot, but he has been going live on Instagram where he's been doing some pretty crazy stuff. Some of the activities that he gets up to on these streams include fighting with his manager, doing on stream, supposedly driving his car under the influence, even though I can't find that one, and probably most concerning, still talking about how he's in 2022 and somehow live streaming himself into the future.
Or Sao Paulo, wherever, which one we go. This was a live stream from 2069, and I'm gonna travel back to the year that you're watching it in right now, and now I'm back. Have a good night. You know I will, motherfucker. Now get your shit together, motherfucker, because I'm coming back. And what matter of fact, I already came back, motherfucker, so. You got something to say about that? I didn't think so, motherfucker.
So a lot of talk about time travel, a lot of talk about angels, and a lot of other signs that he might be suffering with schizophrenia. In fact, I even got that confirmed by one of his friends, although I don't want to put him out there. He wants to stay private in the situation, but he did give me a lot of information on Killstation behind the scenes. So supposedly the two of them knew each other back when they were in high school, and as time went on, Killstation eventually left for California, started to make his way into the rap game, got to know people like Peep, X, and of course made quite a bit of money. But unfortunately, as we already know, Peep ended up passing away in late 2017, and Killstation ended up taking it really hard, especially since there was a little bit of drama circulating around the two. Because you see, Peep was actually dating a woman known as Tupor, who has a lot of lore circulating around her herself, and of course with the type of lifestyle that Peep was living around the time, it wasn't long before the two of them broke up, and only a couple months after that she would end up getting with Killstation, leading a lot of people to call her a groupie, leading a lot of people to call out Killstation for taking his homie's girl. But there actually is a text conversation between Peep and Killstation, and it seems like Peep didn't really care. I mean, after all, at the time he was messing around with Bella Thorne, so I don't think he was tripping all that hard. But despite that, after Peep ended up passing away, both Tupor and Killstation got a lot of shit from his pretty toxic fan base, and then after that, it wasn't long before X also passed away. And around that same time, he would start to suffer with a lot of manic episodes. I mean, after all, losing two friends back to back can't be easy, not to mention he already had a little bit of trauma associated with X in the first place. The two of them lived in a house together in Orlando, and apparently X was very controlling over everybody in the household, only letting them use certain producers, only letting them go out if he approved where they were going, and basically trying to have control over everything going on. Now, of course, at this point, X has passed away, and I really have no interest to try to destroy his legacy or say anything that I can't prove. All I'm saying is that's what I was told by the friend at Killstation. But the only reason that I tend to believe it is it took place in the very same house that X was his girlfriend, so it doesn't seem all that out of the question. But either way, as we already know, X was a very complex person. I mean, after all, it's not my job to judge him after he's passed away, and the only reason I added this in is because it affected Killstation's mental health in a very negative way. It got to the point that in these manic episodes, Killstation believed that X was a demon trying to chase him down and Peep was an angel who was trying to protect him. A lot of stuff that just isn't true, but nobody was able to talk him out of it. And of course, constantly being in that state of mind is going to put a lot of strain on your relationship, and before long, him and Tupor ended up parting ways in 2019, which of course was once again a very traumatic event in his life, and this is when a lot of people said that he really started to fall off the rails, although I don't blame Tupor for leaving him, because I know in a lot of these situations, people often blame the woman for leaving the rapper, saying they should stick by their side if they really loved them and help them through their drug crisis. I mean, look at Peep and Emma. A lot of people still don't fully understand why she ended up leaving him, but it's like, dude, Emma was a pretty normal girl from a pretty good neighborhood in New York. Did you really expect her to go to LA and hang out and crack shacks with Peep and all of his drugged out friends, I don't blame a woman for not wanting to do that. It seems like when it's a man and a woman, the fans always expect the woman to take care of the rapper, but think about it. If it was your girlfriend going out doing drugs constantly, showing up at shows completely drunk, not calling you, not showing up where she was supposed to, are you really going to stick with her? Probably not. Although unfortunately this next part I can't defend as much because pretty well as soon as Tupor left Killstation, she would get into a weird pseudo relationship with Brendan Savage, and that's why Brendan Savage and Killstation aren't really on good terms. It seems like Brendan Savage and Killstation have this weird on again off again relationship. I mean, after all, Killstation has done a lot for Brendan's career. He ended up taking him on an entire European tour, but it doesn't really seem like Brendan appreciates that all that much because a couple months ago he actually ended up calling Killstation a pet out of nowhere, and he had no backing behind that. Pretty well, Killstation was in a manic episode on livestream, and he ended up calling Brendan Savage annoying, so his retaliation was to call him a fucking like, Brendan Savage, you were genuinely unhinged. And not only that, but a couple hours later, he even doubled down by posting another story saying, "Did I stutter?" only to take it back a couple hours after that. And it seems like everybody just forgave him after that, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, calling somebody a pet in nowhere with no proof behind it is extremely dangerous. You could destroy his entire life, career, and everything by making a false claim like that, and I don't think anybody should fuck with that type of energy. And I mean, the guy is clearly going through a mental health crisis. I'm not saying that makes him immune to criticism, but I really feel like now is not the time to make a false claim about the dude, and Killstation even said he was going to sue Brendan over this. And you guys already know how I feel about random washed up rappers trying to sue people to not talk shit about them, but in this case, it might actually be defamation. Probably wouldn't hold up in court because Killstation is a public figure, but either way, I mean, that's a crazy claim. But before we talk about what happens next, I want to take it back a little bit and talk about how Killstation got into the mindset that he's in now. Apparently after Tupor left, a lot of his real friends started to break off as well, and he began to surround himself with a lot of users and abusers, basically paying for everybody around him because he's that type of guy and he's got a lot of money. With him doing some pretty crazy shit like sending $20,000 to his grade 3 teacher, or buying a kid an Xbox, trying to shoot music videos but having way too many people around to be able to actually get it done. It's basically that classic LA lifestyle where you get a little bit of money, you start doing drugs, which unfortunately Killstation is also doing, on top of not taking his schizophrenia medication, making his schizophrenic and manic episodes a lot worse. And of course, the people around you don't really care if you live or die, they're only there to use you for your money, and Killstation always wants to buy everybody everything. He feels like he has to do so, and because of that, he's spending a lot of money that he doesn't really have. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy definitely makes some pretty decent money off of the royalties that he gets from the X and Peep songs, but after all, if you're spending money faster than you're making it, you're going to end up in a bad situation. And this is by no means the first time that we've seen a rapper go through this. We've seen it happen with Lil Peep, we've seen it happen with Famous Dex, we're seeing it happen right now with Smoke Perp. I know a lot of people don't realize this, but he's definitely in a bad spot right now. Once you start to spiral on drugs and alcohol, it's not long before you start to burn all the bridges that you have with your genuine friends, and before long, you find yourself completely alone. So you start surrounding yourself with people who will tell you what you want to hear, and those people are users. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to Killstation. He got to the point where he spent way too much money on his friends. He bought a house that was way out of his price range, which he eventually ended up losing, and now he's living in Airbnbs. And unfortunately, nobody would probably be aware of this. There's a lot of rappers who are living the same lifestyle behind the scenes, and it never gets made public, but luckily for Killstation, in a weird turn of events, him going missing actually put a lot of attention on his story. But I guess I better not get too ahead of myself, because that's right, Killstation actually went missing about a month ago, and a lot of people were hitting me up asking if I knew where he was or had any information on where he might be, and unfortunately, I didn't. So the initial news about this situation ended up breaking in one of those Instagram news channel type things, which I'm not even sure if they even exist anymore. It seems like they disappeared about a month ago, with somebody saying, "Hey everyone, I'd like to bring your attention to something. Nolan Santana, aka Killstation, a friend of X's, has gone missing, and we are trying to bring him home. He was last seen on September 27th near John's Towing in Canoga Park." Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, I'm not from Florida. Prior to that, he'd been seen hanging out around the area at Topanga Boulevard and Victoria Boulevard and Woodland Hills. If you have any information on it, please contact John Cunningham on either Instagram or Discord. After that, it was then shared publicly on Twitter with somebody saying, "Attention, Nolan Santana, aka Killstation, X and Ski's friend, has gone missing. If anyone has any information, contact John Cunningham on Instagram or Discord." And I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of understand why people keep saying that he's friends with X to try to get more attention on the story, but at the same time, I feel like he's his own person and he's a pretty successful successful artist on his own, so I feel like the need to say X and Ski's friend is really not necessary. I'm really not hating on the hustle. I mean, after all, you gotta do what you gotta do to get clicks, but I feel like Killstation should be able to stand on his own 2 feet and not have to be constantly compared to Peep and X. I'm not exactly sure how Twitter works, so I apologize if I get this wrong, but I believe that John responded to this by saying any information would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all. After that, the next little piece of information that we would get would be a comment by Suffocation, who's actually somebody that I've worked with in the past on a collab video, so shout out to him. And he goes on to say, I talked to Kill on the phone September 28th at midnight. He was definitely not there mentally at all, clearly experiencing some sort of strange schizophrenic-like symptoms, saying to me that he was a time traveler and all that other stuff. I recorded the call. If he's never found, I may upload it somewhere because it's probably one of his last phone calls. He was just randomly letting fans call him one night because he posted his number publicly. He even told me that he was admitted to a psych ward sometime before the call. I knew something was off because we talked about visiting the beach near Santana Ana before we hung up, and the phone wasn't dialing through anymore about a week later. I really hope he ends up being okay because he's always been one of my favorite singers and rappers. I'll never forget driving 4 hours to LA to see him do his entire album live. So at this point, things are getting kind of concerning. He's already missing, but now people are talking about how he's going through a manic episode before he ended up hanging up the phone. He was in a psych ward at one point, and a lot of people were concerned that he might have went somewhere to unfortunately. And it was even more concerning because the last thing that he ended up posting before he disappeared was him giving a tribute to one of his friends who passed away in 2009. I mean, after all, there's nothing really too dark to that, but it seems like death might have been on his mind for the past couple months. After that, people began to talk about it on Reddit, with somebody saying, honestly, after Brennan posted a false allegation, I'm not surprised that Killstation isn't doing good. Doesn't matter if Brennan took it down and publicly apologized, something like that will fuck someone up. Somebody responds to that by saying Killstation being out of his mind on drugs is probably the biggest factor. Those videos of him driving around for hours are really scary. And I kind of agree with the both of them. I mean, after all, it definitely is the biggest factor that he's on drugs going through an episode right now, but after all, being accused of something like that so publicly can't be good on his mental health either. I mean, people are really stupid online. As soon as Brennan Savage ended up putting that on his story, a lot of people started making videos saying that Killstation might actually be a himself. A lot of times people only see the headline saying Killstation is a they don't look any deeper into it. I mean, look at Little Mosey. He actually ended up getting proven innocent in court, but a lot of people still believe that he's so all I can say is when you see something like that, try to actually look into it, get all the information. It's okay to be skeptical, but when like 17 women come out all together with very detailed screenshots and stories, trying to say that it's fake at that point is definitely a little bit of a conspiracy brain move, but I mean, people are going to defend their favorite artist no matter what. People are still really out there defending Zilla Kami. I mean, come on guys. Soon after that, Bass Santana would also make a post about it, and if you don't know who Bass Santana is, all you really need to know is at one point he was also part of Members Only as well. And there's really no reason to read this out. It's basically the exact same information we already know. He went missing around the beach and nobody has seen him in the past couple hours. And for what I believe was a couple days after that, I think it could have been one, it might have been two, I wasn't fully keeping up with it so I'm not entirely sure, Killstation was missing and nobody knew if he was alive or dead. I think a lot of fans were really expecting the worst, that he unfortunately ended up but very luckily he actually ended up showing up not long after that, because somebody ended up tweeting out they found Killstation, and John Cunningham would also post on his own story saying Killstation is alive and well, thank you all for your help. And then after that, Brennan Savage would actually end up posting on his story saying Killstation was found alive and well days ago. Hopefully someone will announce it officially that he's okay. I apologize to the fans that were left without an answer because I sure was. Brennan, why do you think that you deserve to know? I mean, after all, I know you guys have a weird relationship. It's not really for me to say, but if my buddy ended up calling me a publicly, he would not be my buddy anymore. I know the guy is probably feeling really guilty, and if something happened to Killstation, a lot of people would blame Brennan Savage, but I mean, dude, you really can't go around saying stuff like that. It's completely unhinged, it's not right, and some people probably still believe that Killstation is a because of you. After that, we then get a little bit of an explanation of where he was during that period. They say, by the way, they found him, he's okay. Apparently he does this every other month. He goes away and decompresses. His mom was worried though. And I mean, there we go guys, a happy ending, right? But unfortunately, this ending isn't as happy as you think, because unfortunately it does seem like Killstation has recently gone homeless. The reason that he ended up running away is because his money started to run out and he felt very embarrassed that he wouldn't be able to pay for his friends anymore, and once they realized that he didn't have money, they stopped hanging out with him. And it's gotten to the point that he supported supporting so many other people's lives that he's actually choosing to be homeless because he feels like he needs to take care of them and would rather take care of his friends financially than actually take care of himself. So Killstation is really not in a good place, and I feel like it was very necessary to make this video before something really bad happens. I don't want to see another rapper pass away for absolutely no reason. There's nothing pretty or funny about this situation. I know a lot of people have been laughing at Killstation on his live streams, calling him a lol cow, but I mean, the guy is completely going out of his mind. He's going to end up passing away soon if he's not able to change things, and then you guys won't be laughing. We've seen this happen before with artists like Little Bo Weep, where basically everybody was making fun of her online, bullying her, trying to dox her, and then she ended up passing away. And immediately everybody would go from calling her a piece of shit who needed to die to calling her a beautiful angel who never deserved all of that in her life. So people online definitely switch up pretty quick once it ends up leading to somebody passing away. So let's try to do the right thing while the guy's still breathing. I mean, there's not a whole lot we can do in his personal life through online, but the least that we can do is try to give him a little bit of support, leave some nice comments for him, and tell him that people are looking out for him and they actually care about him. If we all band together right now and try to give him some positivity, he might be able to find his way out of this dark place in his life, and we can see him be more like Macnid, completely turning his life around and not become another Little Peep, because we do not need another passed away rapper. So Killstation, I really hope that you know that you have people who care about you in your real life as well as online. You got countless fans who really want to see you thrive, and I even heard that you have an unreleased album, which I do not want to see become a posthumous release, so definitely put that out and the fans will scream it. But with all that said, shout out to Killstation. I'm really happy that he ended up turning up in one piece, and thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Shout out Knife Gang, subscribe to the channel. We're almost to 20K. Bye-bye.